And we're live. Hey everyone, and welcome to the Firehose Project Info Session. I'm Marco. I'm the CEO and also one of the co-founders and code mentors here at the Firehose Project. And I'm running you guys through what we're doing in our program. So before I dive in, quick overview of what we're covering in our info session. First, I want to talk about why software engineering, why it makes so much sense to learn how to code today and why it's important. Then I want to talk a little bit about our bootcamp prep course, how we prepare our students to be ready to dive into our full program, what that entails, how we're helping you guys out there. And then I want to talk a little bit about the full program, everything from our web developments that we're building, the algorithms, data structures, our Agile team project, the job support, mentors, forum, all that good stuff I'm going to cover. And then obviously I want to hear from you. I want to answer your questions. So if you have any questions, if you send me either an email, you guys should have all received an email, I check them at the end, or use the little box that's either right or left for me and put your question in there and I'll get to them at the very end. Now, let's dive in and see why are we doing this, right? I think there's two big reasons why software engineering and learning how to code makes so much sense right now. And the first one, quite simply, is that it's an extremely in-demand field, right? There's a saying that software is eating the world right now. And if we're looking at where things are going, this is not going to stop, right? Every single day, if we're looking at our lives, we're using more and more technology. And somebody has to build that technology. That's built by software engineers and web developers. So having the skills to be at the center of that, to ride that wave that's going on right now in software engineering is a really good place to be because there's a lot of demand. And if we're looking at statistics, alone in the US, there's hundreds of thousands of unfilled jobs right now. So that's reason number one, it's an extremely in-demand field. But reason number two, I think, is even more important, and that's the one that's an extremely fulfilling profession to be in, because as a developer, as a software engineer, when we build applications, we have the opportunity to reach a lot of people, like millions of people, and make their lives better. And never before, I guess, in the history of this planet, we were able to do so, right? So building an application that helps people save their money, budget, finance something, help them get around, if you're looking at what Lyft, Uber is doing, or even looking way outside of what's possible today, what SpaceX is doing, and being like, we're colonizing Mars. Guess who's writing the source code for their rocket propulsion system? These are software engineers as well. So it goes from everyday use on our phone all the way to traveling to Mars, and that's extremely fulfilling, being part of a mission like that, be it Mars, or being like building an app, building a web application that helps people make their lives better every single day. Now, you know why that's so important, why you should jump into software engineering, right? In demand and really fulfilling. Let's talk about our program a little bit and go in, right? We have the bootcamp prep course. Those are the first 2 weeks of our program. They're free, so you can join them. I know a lot of people who are watching right now already coding with us. Thumbs up to you guys. Everyone else, go to thefirehoseproject.com right now and sign up and get started. Build a portfolio page, submit coding challenges, write Ruby code, learn how to use web development tools, and get feedback on the code that you submit. And hey, at the end, you have a portfolio page that's live on the internet, and you've written some Ruby code. So even if you decide not to go with us, you're well prepared on your way of making moves in the coding scene. Now, once you're done with the prep course, we'll review all your coding challenges. We do that throughout, and we give you the thumbs up. And as soon as we give you the thumbs up, you accept it into the full program, and then you can pick your start date. So we start new students every Monday. So depending on when you want to start, you can start immediately after, so you don't have to wait long, or you can book it a few weeks or even month in the future, and then get everything sorted on your schedule, and then start and dive into the full program. Now let's talk a little bit what happens in the full program, right? Full program, we have kind of like two paths that merge together, and one is web application development, and the other one is algorithms and data structures. And then they go into merge together into the Agile team project that we're doing at the end. Now let me start with the web application development path, and then I'll talk a little bit about the algorithms and data structures, and then I explain how this all leads to the Agile team project down the line. Now, what types of applications are we building, right? We're starting everyone out building a simple web application that takes a quote or a comment, stores in a database, randomly pulls it out, and shows it on the homepage. That's a pretty simple application. We make sure it looks good, so it's also responsive and mobile friendly, so it looks good on your phones, on your tablet, on your desktop, on your laptop, and it gives you a really good overview over the Ruby on Rails framework, the Ruby programming language, the workflow using version control like Git and GitHub, and how to push something out to the server and launch it live. Most students finish that within, let's say, about 3 to 4 days, maybe a week. Now we move on and make it more complicated, and we build a location-based Yelp clone. So what we mean by that is what our goal is to get pins on maps for locations. And that's a good time where our students actually customize their app and make it about something that they care about. So we've seen anything from the best rock climbing spots in the US, the coolest non-touristy spots in Manhattan, in New York City, where you can relax, best yoga places, best meditation spots in a community, most kid-friendly parks in London. Anything that goes, that can work well on maps, that's what our students have built, right? And obviously, we need to write the technology, write the code behind it to power that application. So we need to grab an address that a user gives us, translate that into longitude and latitude coordinates, feed it back into the Google Map API, and get a pin on the map. And then we need to add additional features, right? We're building user authentication, so log in, log out, and registration functionalities. We're building user commenting, star ratings, automated email notification if somebody leaves a comment, right? If I set up a cool climbing spot, I love to climb, and somebody gives me a rating on that, I'd love to get notifications. It's like, hey, Emma just left this spot, and on your spot a comment and gave it a 5-star rating, and so I can interact on the platform directly with the person who gave me a comment or a rating on my spot. Now then we also build a little dashboard, show some analytics to each of the persons putting actually a spot onto our application. Now, that usually takes students several weeks, and then we move on and go to the next level and build something a bit more complex. The next application that we're building is a two-sided marketplace. And when I say two-sided, it means we have instructors on one side, we have students on the other side. The instructors can come to our platform, create an account, and upload some type of tutorial, right? Be it about how to use the best web fonts, right? That could be one thing. They upload videos, create videos, upload them. We have students on the other side, and they can purchase these courses from the instructors, right? And that already shows us why this is two-sided, because we have two different user roles, and the one user side, the students can actually purchase something, which is a keyword, because we need to now enable credit card or purchasing functionality on our app. So we integrate with this API called Stripe, so we can accept credit and debit cards directly on the platform. And the way this gets complicated is because the user model, the entire model of the application, because it's two-sided, is a lot more complex. So we need to dive deep into the database and make sure we know which student purchased which course from which mentor, from which instructor, who has only preview access, who has full access, and how does the money flow through our platform? What are the cuts that each of the instructors are getting, the platform owner, us, how much do we get? We need to track all of that on the database level, and that's what makes that application pretty real world, but also very complex, and we need to learn how to do that. Next up, we go into test-driven development, and test-driven development is the industry standard that every developer and software engineer needs to use and know in order to build features and ship improvements to any application. Now, let's zoom out quickly. What is test-driven development? Before that, what's testing, right? Automated software testing is us as developers writing code so we can ensure that our features are not broken, right? Rather than going manually and clicking on every single button to make sure that something is still working, we write software tests to make sure that nothing is broken. There's not a broken link, there's not a form that doesn't work on submission. That's what we want to write, and that's the industry standard to do that. And test-driven development is one way of doing that, and it's the most accepted one, so we're teaching you that. Next up, we're going into JavaScript. Before that, that was all Ruby, and now we're deep diving into JavaScript and have you build a web application from scratch using nothing but JavaScript, right? And that's really a deep dive, so you have a second programming language under your belt. You know how to build a web application in that language as well, and it really elevates you because now you have not only one programming language that you have skills in, but you have two programming languages, and Ruby and the web application framework Rails and JavaScript go really well together because you can use JavaScript to make the user interface and user experience a lot better. All these fancy things that you see on web applications, like things that move around or things that interact with the user, that's what you'll be able to build on top of a solid backend that you're building with Ruby and the Rails web application framework. These are the web applications that we're building. Now we also have the algorithms and data structures. And that's basically a continuation of what you're doing in the prep course. If you're thinking about the coding challenges that you submit there, little scripts that you write that you execute in the terminal, that's what you're going to be doing in the algorithm section and the data structure section as well, but on the next level, right? We're starting out slowly, and then we go all the way to search algorithms and sorting algorithms and how to use and write that advanced Ruby code and integrate it into a web application to build something that's more advanced. These are the two paths that we're working on in parallel, and then we're going to merge those paths for the Agile team project. Now, why are we doing an Agile team project? And I think the biggest reason we're doing that is because there's a saying that in the real world, the best products are built by amazing teams. We want to make sure that all of our students know how to be part of an amazing team. And that makes so much sense, because if we're zooming out and we're looking at what happens in a hiring process, what happens when a technical interview is completed, what happens when a technical hiring manager looks at you, they're looking at who can hit the ground running and who's a high impact employee from day one, and actually work with my team together and fill that slot and work in the regular web development workflow, software engineering workflow. And that's exactly what the group project is teaching you. So what are we doing actually? We're doing this, we're going to group you together with 4 or 5 other students, and you get another mentor besides your personal one-on-one mentor who takes you under your wing. And I'll talk about that in a moment. And that mentor will run the group project the same way they would run a project at any company they've currently worked in or worked before. Now, that means that we're building an advanced web application together as a team. So what we're building is a chess game. Now, a lot of people usually say, come on, Marco, chess game, that's not that interesting. We can build something way cool like a Facebook, right? And the reason we're building a chess game, though, and not a Facebook, is because the chess game is really complex to build. And we know that because we talked to multiple technical hiring managers, we talked to our mentors, right? We talked to people who work in higher places like PayPal, Product Hunt, Shopify, eBay, Salesforce. They told us, if a student comes to me in an interview and they build a chess game as part of a team, that's impressive, because now I can talk to them how to implement all the rules that are in chess, right? How do you automatically detect checkmate, the castling moves? How do you move the pieces across the field to make sure no player cheats while doing the moves, right? So that's something that's pretty technically advanced. And that's something that shows that you cannot just build simple apps. Like think about back to our Yelp clone, what we do in like week 2 and 3, all the way to a chess game, which is a lot more advanced and has a lot more complex code. And that's something that sets you apart. I know how to work together as a team and build complex web applications. And that's what all of our students are doing. And I don't really see anyone else doing that out in the coding bootcamp industry. So that's something that I think is core to what we're doing here at the Firehose Project. And it's a full 8 weeks long, and you get to have a lot of fun building something advanced together with other people. Now, how does this all segue into our job preparation, job help, making sure you guys landing jobs, if that's one of your goals to switching over into a new career, right? So one thing I already said, the competitive advantage that you're getting of working on an Agile team and working together with other developers, and how that sets you apart, because you haven't just coded by yourself. You're now a high impact employee and can hit the ground running from day one. Another thing that we're doing, we have a full track. It's our job search optimization track that gives you the strategies to actually think about a job search like a salesperson, building up a funnel, and give you the strategies, not only where to find the jobs, how to apply for them, how to structure your resume, how to interview, but also how to do that repeatedly in a way that's scalable, so you can move forward and forward and forward, rather than like having one-offs here and there, right? That includes anything from networking, designing your portfolio, making sure you have enough leads coming in, how to nurture those leads, and how to close the deals, obviously get the offers, and then how to evaluate them. So rather than giving you fish, we're teaching you how to fish, so you can use that same technique, same principles for the rest of your career, be it now or in 5 years when you go and maybe from to a senior architect role from a software engineering role. Now, that is pretty much what we're doing in the program, right? We're starting out with the web application track. We have the algorithms and the data structures that merges together into the Agile teamwork to give you that real world experience and know how to integrate yourself into the development flow of a software engineering team. And then we have the job track on top of that to teach you how to actually present yourself and how to land those jobs and give you the strategies that you need to make that switch happen. Now, let me know, as I said in the beginning, if you have any questions. I think I received a few emails already, but I want to check in and see if there's anything else that I got. So give me a moment here and I'll take a moment. Quick check. Oh, I already got a few, so I'm answering them in a moment. I just want to see if there's anything else that I got. It's still a good time to add your questions if you have some, because I will check one more time after answering. Okay, so I have a few here in my inbox, and I don't have anything in the live chat. That's totally fine. Going to answer them. One of the questions that I received was like, I don't know who asked that now. If we taught at Carnegie Mellon, maybe that was a Carnegie Mellon grad. And yes, we taught at Carnegie Mellon, right? So what we've done previously is, before we started our before we built the online platform, we taught hundreds and hundreds of students in person at places like Carnegie Mellon, also Harvard, Brown University, Rhode Island School of Design, and many more. And 100 students we taught, actually myself and my co-founder, in the classroom, and we really learned how people understand complex technical concepts. And we took those lessons and we included them in our online learning platform. So when we say that our online learning platform is engineered to make things click for you, that's exactly what we mean. We took that from those hundreds of students that we taught in person, all these variations that we tried of how people understand things, and we baked that into our platform. Now, let me see, are we teaching algorithms as well? Yes, I mentioned that. That's a full-on track. That's one of our core paths that we have all the students go through, build algorithms in parallel while building web applications. And we do that so you can build a complex and advanced web application at the very end during the Agile team project, which is a full 8 weeks. What's your support system with mentors? Great. Also great question. So I think that goes together with the other question, what's different about our program, but I'll answer the support question first. We basically have the forum. That's a Q&A forum. If you're new to a course, you notice that already. If you're stuck, you can scroll to the bottom of the lesson, take a screenshot of your error message, post it in there, and we help you get unstuck so you can always focus on learning and never on spinning your wheels. That's really important. That enables us to have mentor sessions, one-on-one mentor sessions with a senior web developer. We can come to them error-free, so you can really get your coding skills up to the next level, right? That's part of the principles that we have to elevate your coding skill in every single mentorship session. Now, what happens in mentorship sessions is that we pair program. It could be that you and I are working on an algorithm and working that out together. We pair program, you write some code, I write some code. We could be working on a feature that you want to add on top of an existing feature. We could be doing a bit of test-driven development, right? Think about automated software tests. That could be tricky for you. So we're deep diving into that, and I show you how to do that a little better on the code that you've written already, so you can then move it to the next level on your own. That's what happens in mentorship sessions. Then we also have our weekly office hours that happen every week. All of our students come together, ask questions, and you can learn from questions that other students are having and hear our answers. There's always mentors in the office hours, and you hear the answers to their questions and learn something from it, because maybe you haven't had that error message. Maybe you haven't thought about it from that perspective. And then learning from other people is a really valuable thing, so you don't have to make those same mistakes, right? And then we obviously have a Slack channel. We have our community page where students are interacting, meeting up, talking to each other, all of that as well. Now I have another question. Why are we different, right? What's different from our program to other programs out there, online versions, and maybe in-person programs as well? I think I always say to that there's 3 reasons to that. The first is the depth of the curriculum, right? I don't see a lot of other people teaching the algorithms, the data structures, the test-driven development, teaching Ruby as one programming language, going in depth there, and then teaching JavaScript on top of that. And nobody has that 8-week focus on the Agile team project, where you're together with an industry expert who runs you as a team the same way they would run a team at their software engineering company. And that's something that is really going to set you apart. So depth of the curriculum alone, and then the Agile team project on top is one of the main reasons. The other one are our mentors, right? We get consistently 5-star ratings for all of our mentors, and we know that because after every single mentorship sessions, our students give feedback about their mentorship sessions, and we see what they say, and our mentors are hitting it out of the park. Right? These are senior web developers from places like, said that before, Shopify, Salesforce, PayPal, eBay, Product Hunt, small tech companies, bigger tech companies, and we match you with them based on your goals and what you want to achieve. So this isn't like a simple like, oh, here you get somebody who just graduated a bootcamp a few months ago and landed his first job. This is somebody who has years of experience, and we actually take into consideration what you want to get out of this program. So we ask you, what are your goals? What do you want to get out? Where are you right now? What's your coding background? And based on that, we match you with somebody who can help you achieve those best. So if your goal is to find remote work and freelance, we match you with a mentor who's been doing this for years, so they can give you the feedback as well. And likewise, if you want to work as a developer in a big company, we match you with a developer who works at a big software engineering company, right? If you want to work for a startup, we match you with somebody who works for a startup. If you want to start your own idea, we match you with a student and with a mentor who knows how to do that, right? So mentorship is key, and we take it seriously. We do the matching, and we have only world-class mentors on our team. And last but not least, I'd say is our community, right? Our students are helping each other all the time, sharing blog posts, sharing their lessons, being active on Slack, being active on our community page, coming together, giving virtual talks, and doing group projects together all the time. So that's something that you will have through the entirety of the program, and then afterwards you always have the access to the community and to our entire platform. So you never really graduate, you're always part of that community, and I think that's key moving forward. And we see that with our graduates time and time again. They're coming back, helping new students, having questions, maybe getting them answered from current students because they already have experience with certain technologies that they don't have. They also come back to the platform and learn continuously from our lessons. Now, these are the 3 reasons, right? The depth of the curriculum, the world-class mentors, and then the community as well. That's what I would say. Let's see if I got any more questions. Nothing over here. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. All right, if we don't have any questions here in the live chat, thanks so much everyone for coming. Again, sign up for our intro course, go through the coding challenges, use our forum, test things out, see how you like it, code with us, build a portfolio page, work on some Ruby challenges. If you have any other questions, you all should have my email by now. Feel free to email me, happy to help you out. If you want to jump on individual calls for additional questions, you can always jump on our call with with Rita, our student success manager. But for now, that's all I got. I hope this was helpful to you. Happy coding, and thumbs up for everyone who came. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day, evening, morning, wherever you're based. Bye now.